Welcome back everybody, this is Troublemaker and as you may know, I'm currently the 8th Medice in our server. Unfortunately, Medice has received a nerf, and with you, I would like to analyze this nerf, so let's get into this video. The first thing we noticed is that they reduced the time to decode a console from 5 seconds to 3.5 seconds. This is already bad because in early game especially, you need to defend faster the consoles, because if they simultaneously decode our consoles, will be really difficult to defend them all. Then we can also read that they reduced the amount of consoles for each map and they adjusted some consoles. So I want to make the analysis of each map that you can play rank with Medice with you guys, so you have a complete vision of this nerf. Let's go.
Arms Factory. How was Arms Factory before the nerf? Well, it was pretty much balanced, I think, because the map itself is really small, but has a weakness for Medice. The fact is that most of ciphers are far away from the center of the console range. So when you click on the console, the survivor gets notified and they start running, and it's more difficult to hit them. There is only one cipher that cannot be controlled by consoles, and it is the one in the down left corner. But apart from that, I think it's a really balanced map, and I will give it a solid 7. This is the new map, and it changed nearly nothing. As you can see, there is only one red dot and no yellow arrows. It means that there is only one console that has been removed. In fact, that area was a dead area. It's only good for guiding maybe, but it didn't cover any cipher, so it's pretty much the same.
So this is the new map. As you can see, the red part is the area that has been weakened, and it's a dead area because there are no ciphers in there. So I think Arms Factory is still something like 6.5 or maybe near 7. It has been weakened, but not that much. The next map is Sacred Heart Hospital. This map is pretty good to play with Medice because every cipher can be controlled, and that's good. And also, every cipher is quite near to the central of the control range, so it's easier to control them. I think I will give it a 8 out of 10. So what did they change? You can see there are no yellow arrows and only a red dot, which means a console has been removed. The fact is that this console was way more useful than the one in Arms Factory. In fact, it used to cover a huge area in the center. It used to cover some kiting spots. Also, it gave a huge chance to the central console and the central cipher too. So I think I will give a 7 out of 10 to this map. And now we have Red Church. Red Church, it used to be probably the best map for Medice because you can control easily every single cipher and you can control them with multiple consoles. Also, some consoles defend each other, so it was really good. Probably this map is a 9 out of 10. And sadly, we have to talk about what has changed in this map. First of all, we notice a red dot in the center of the map, which means that a console has been removed. And that console was really helpful because it helped to control a central area of the map. And also it covered 3 different ciphers. It was really, really useful. Then we notice 2 yellow arrows, which means 2 consoles has been moved. We can talk about the one near in the center. So the console now is actually in the center of the map near the cipher.
This is probably a little buff because it's easier to control that cipher, but also it's really easy for survivors to decode the console and waste our energy. The other yellow arrow is quite another buff because we can actually control better the gate and also the cipher near the gate, which was really hard to control before. So these are two little buffs compared to a huge nerf in the center. So at the end of the day, I think this is still a nerf for this map, but still, since the two little buffs, probably it's a good map too, because there are some amazing chair to camp the survivors. So at the end of the day, I think this map is worth 7.5 or maybe 8, but probably more 7.5, just like that. And then we have Lakeside. Lakeside, I think it's quite a meme because you can't really control in a good way the ciphers on the left side. Also, you can't really control the cipher on the big bot because you can't reach it with the range. That's terrible, and I really hope they will fix that. And they also nerfed this, as you will see. Also, many ciphers are far from the center of console range, so it's a really bad map for Mid-Ice. At least it was, because now it's even worse. And I think 5 it's just a top. I'm being good giving a 5 to this map. First of all, we see 2 red dots, which means 2 console has been removed. You can see they didn't even change the fact that you can't control the cipher on the left side and even the one on the bot. But also, the console on the right that has been removed used to cover a cipher that now can't be controlled, and also one of the most important shards for Mid-Ice. This is a huge nerf, and also it helped to cover the gate. That's terrible. The other console that has been removed doesn't really change or affect this map for Mid-Ice because you still control the center, but you are awakening a little bit because you have less energy in total. But overall, this isn't the biggest problem of this map, so it's okay. The 2 yellow arrows, you may argue that these arrows are useful, but the change in the place of the console doesn't really affect the map if you remove 2 consoles. The total energy is still really less than before. I think 1 or 2 developers played Lakeside against a Mid-Ice and lost, and probably that's the reason they thought that nerfing Mid-Ice in this map was useful, but really this map now is just trash for Mid-Ice. Also, you can see over the trees, so as you can see from the picture now, it's even worse, and I think I will give it a 3 out of 10. And now we have Moonlight River Park. This map was quite funny. There were only 2 weak spots that were the 2 circus, especially the one with 2 floors. But don't worry, because developers got our back and they really fixed this problem. I think I will give a 8 out of 10 for this map. You can see what developers did in this map. They removed a console which used to protect the cipher on the circus at 2 floors. That's quite bad, or maybe even terrible, because now you can't really control that cipher anymore. You can't control the circus, so that's really bad. So you can see that the area that has been weakened is the circles, and I think I will give a 6.5 to this map, which used to be really good for Mid-Ice and now it's just average or even worse. And now we have Leo's Memory, which is a map that was really good with Medice. And I think this map is the one that has been affected by the biggest nerf. But before, I think I could give it a 8 out of 10. Developers removed free consoles. And you cannot really say that these free consoles were fundamental for Leo's Memory, but they had a sort of support role because they covered some other consoles, for example, lots of kiting spots, and maybe even some ciphers that were already controlled to have a better overall control in the map and on the cipher. So these are the areas that has been weakened, and I want to focus especially on the two on the middle because they were pretty useful, and now there are many blind spots in this map that I think I will give a 5.5 maybe, but I think this is a huge nerf for Medice overall. And then we have Ever Sleeping Town. This map is really huge, and it was good to play Medice in this map because you can control many roads. There are many huge areas that are open spaced, so it's easier to trap survivors with walls. So this map, at the end of the day, I think it's really good, even if it has some weaknesses. I think that map was good, and I will give a 7.5. So they removed two consoles, and this weakened the two areas. The first area is near the gate on the top, and that's terrible because you cannot control the gate easily as you did before. And the second area is the huge blind spot now down in the map. This is terrible because the cipher on the up floor was already difficult to reach, and now it's even worse. And one of the worst thing is the green spot on the up left corner, which is a cipher that still in the old version of this map couldn't be easily controlled, and now it's even worse because you barely can control it anymore because the cipher has been moved, you can see from the yellow arrow. So that's another bad thing for this map. This is the map where I have less experience overall because I don't know it really well, and often I feel confused in the roads of this town. But overall it's a nerf because you can control the gates now, not pretty easily as before. You can't control a cipher in any way, and also they weakened an area. But still, this map is good because there are roads, and with Medice you can trap survivors in this road. So I think it's a 6.5 out of 10.
So now the question is Medice still playable in high tiers? Well, probably yes, if you're really good and you really want it to. For example, a friend of mine is the first Medice in our server. It's called Quimata, and we always message each other. He taught me a lot in playing Medice, so you may also have a YouTube channel. If so, I will link it below in the description. And he told me that at the beginning of the season he kept winning every single game with Medice, but it was more difficult. He struggled to win sometimes. So this means Medice is still playable, but you really have to be really good. So I think this analysis should be complete. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and maybe comment your opinion here down in the comments. It will help me a lot growing the channel. Also, if you can, please subscribe so I can bring you more videos like this. See you soon, guys.